Well, this was interesting, alright. According to the up and down votes, I guess my video was received fairly controversially. I guess the topic itself really does split the community between superior carrier mains and filthy fucking babbies. But checking things up in the WoW's community seems like a good thing to do, since everyone seems to copy each other and share virtually the same fucking opinion, these soulless fucking NPCs. Look at this crap. This isn't contributing to the community. It's talking over some replay you're recording and spouting your recycled thoughts you heard 1,000,000 times before. Wow, so original. Please, invite me to the next furry convention. By the way, my persona is a Japanese anime girl that always looks depressed, just like me in real life. Alright, enough of that. Let's get to the meat and bones, since I already wasted your precious time. Okay, so this guy called Texton? Whatever, has written his own version of a matchmaking monitor, or as it's also known as XVM. Reading the comments had me in tears, really. People screeched about how they don't want anything like that in their game. Now, I couldn't help myself and commented that if you're good at the game, you have nothing to fear, and honestly, then I stick by that. But before you slam on the downvote button and call me a faggot for having a different opinion than everyone else, and that I probably deserve a public execution, hear me out. They're just stats. It's simple as that. WTR, win rate, average damage are just metrics that, in and of themselves, bear very little meaning. They simply state what you average over your gameplay lifetime. It's just that, when compared to everyone else, that they suddenly make more sense. Sure, your average zoomer with ADHD will look at the plain stats, see that they're not purple everywhere, and will start screeching at you. But this has always been the case with games, sports, even life accomplishments. It's the inherent competitive nature of humans. They want to compare themselves with others and see how they measure up. Again, these are just your average stats. Your stats won't magically stop you from having the game of your life, dealing 300,000 plus damage, sinking 7 enemies, and being called a filthy hacker. That also won't stop you from having a game where you choke on more dicks than your mom during a porn casting for Blacked. My point is that nothing will stop you from playing just because someone can see your stats. I don't think I could get laid by just posting my WTR in my Graf Zeppelin on Tinder and suddenly get 1,000,000 hits. The only thing I get to do is jack off to my stats. Boy, time to look at some porn. Let's see, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes! Yes! Now, if you ask me, World of Warships is a terrible game to be played competitively. It's the one thing I fundamentally disagree with people like Farazelov. Oh god, please notice me, senpai. The game is just not balanced for competitive, and if so, fucking Christ have you guys fucked up. Overwatch, League of Legends, Dota, or even Counter-Strike are much more of an esport than World of Warships could ever hope to be. That doesn't make it a bad game, or stop wargaming from forcing a competitive scene with shit like ranked or clan wars, but simply that this game is best enjoyed in random battle. It's just not tuned for fairness or competitive play, but rather for random battle. And besides that, I think stats are much nicer than leagues or whatever, which makes things even worse. Anything that adds these just means that any opinion from a bronze or equivalent tier can be completely dismissed on the mere basis of his league. We already see this in World of Warships with clans, and frankly, I don't like it. Everyone is entitled to his opinion, and using stats as a replacement for an argument just means you're just arguing with a retard. However, I do think that using stats as a support for an argument, like saying that someone has no experience with a certain class based on his stats, should be fair game. What just really makes me mad is that people would rather have something like XVM banned rather than just making the effort of hiding their stats. If people yell in chat, then just mute them. This isn't just something that annoys me in World of Warships exclusively, but also in games like Overwatch, Battlefield, or Dota. You'd rather see someone banned than just blocking him and carrying on? I don't get it. Maybe my estrogen levels are too low, and I require 100 cc's of soy directly injected into my ballsack to understand. Well, Whatever the case, I hope you see this video, Texton, and know that your efforts are appreciated.